Hello and welcome to Martin Maths. We're continuing the Foundation Maths Paper 2, and this is question 16 onwards. So 160 people were asked to choose their favorite type of book. They either chose from romance, adventure, horror, or thriller. 85 of them were children and the rest were adults. Okay, I think the best way to do this is to put it into a two-way table. Adults and children, romance, adventure, horror, or thriller. And we know that, use a ruler preferably, but we know that there's 160 in total. 85 of these people were children, so these always have the totals. 19 of the 33 people who chose romance were children, so romance's total is 33 and 19 were children. 34 of the 76 who chose adventure were adults, so 76 chose adventure, and 34 were adults. 7 adults chose thriller, so adults and thriller. The number of children who chose thriller was the same as the number of adults who chose horror. So children choosing thriller and adults choosing horror. Those numbers are going to be the same. Work out the total number of people who chose horror. So we're looking for that number there. Okay, the best thing to do is look for gaps where we have everything else. And if I look at romance, well, 33 minus 19 will give me 14 there. 76 minus 34 will give me 42 there. And the total number of adults will be 160 minus 85. Which is 75 there. So now we should be able to work out the rest. There's too many gaps in children, too many gaps in total, but there's only one gap for adults horror, so we can get that one. If I do 75 minus 7 minus 34 minus 14, I get 20. They told us that these two numbers are the same, so now we can start to fill in the other gaps. That'll be 27. And now I can work out either that gap or that gap. So 160 minus 27 minus 76 minus 33 is 24. But let's just see that we get the same thing working that way to make sure we haven't made any mistakes. 85 minus 20 minus 42 minus 19 is 4. And that helps me know that that adds up to 24. So then, to answer the question, you must show how we got our answer. Well, all those steps that I've been doing, for instance, 33 minus 19 equal to 14, you'd have to write those up. 76 minus 34 equal to 42. You'd have to write up to show how you got that and that one there. And that would get you your full marks. But the final answer that they want is work out the total number of those who chose horror. And that's 24 there. Okay, a nice 4-mark question there. Right, here's a stem and leaf question, question 17. There are 16 sunflowers, and they've told us we need a key. Don't forget the key. So I'm going to take all this information and write it into a stem and leaf. They've got space here to put it ordered if you want to first, or you can jump straight into it. I'm going to look at the ones that are in the 160s. There's 3 of them, so I'm going to put 160 as 16/0. So that's that. I'm going to cross that one out, put a bit of space for the 2, put a space for the 8. I think that's all the 160s. Go to the 170s. There's a 172, a 173. Cross them out as you go along and make sure that you've got, there's another 172. That's why. I can put that one in there, a 177, and a 178. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 I've done. I should have 8 more to do. 180, exactly 180. 183, 184, 186, 188, and another 180. Leaving us in the 190s with just 191 and 197. Okay, you could have used the space to order them, but I don't mind going straight into this as long as I now have 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Maybe put a comma there or something to show. Okay, they haven't asked for range or median or mode, but you could find those as required. That's a nice 3-mark question there for question 17. Right, let's work out this number, 9.8 plus 6.8 over 4.2 times 2.1, and write down all the figures on your calculator. So you can use a calculator. There's a fraction button there. I'm going to put brackets around the top just to make sure that the laws of BIDMAS are followed. And brackets around the denominator times 2.1. So there I have 9.8 plus 6.8 divided by 4.2 times 2.1. And I'm going to put it into decimal form, and I should get 1.882066168. Write your answer correct to 2 decimal places. So you look at the 3rd decimal place, round that down 1.88. Okay? Because it's a calculated paper and they've asked you to write something from the calculator. That one should be straightforward. Question 19. Diagram shows a quadrilateral ABCDE and an equilateral triangle BCD. So that's what those dashes are. And ED and CB are parallel. That's what those arrows are. Okay, angle AED is 132 there. And that's a right angle there. So DBA is 90 degrees. Okay, equilateral triangle, those are all 60. So write something along that, equilateral triangle. Now, alternate angles. So CBD equals EDB, that'll be 60. Are equal because of parallel lines. So that's one fact. That's a second fact, or third fact there. 90 degrees is given. So now I have that 90 plus the 132 plus that 60 adds up to 282. 60 plus 90 plus 132 is 282. And I do 360 minus that, and I get 78. So x is 78 because it's the 4th angle in this quadrilateral. And quadrilaterals add up to 360. So 90, 132, and 60. Okay, a nice 4-mark question there. 78 is the answer. Right, complete this table of values for a quadrilateral. Quadratic, x squared minus x minus 2. It's positive, so I'm expecting a kind of smiley face because we're going to draw the graph in a second. And I expect some symmetry. They've given us 1. 0 is another easy one to do. 0 minus 2. Right, so we know that our line of symmetry is going to be about there. Putting 2 into there, well, 2 squared minus 2 is going to be 0. Because that's 4 minus 2. Then here, minus 1 squared plus 1 minus 2. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. So that's why we're expecting it to reflect. And then I'm expecting to have 4 here, but let's just check. 9 minus 3 minus 2. 9 minus 5 is 4. Now let's plot those points. Minus 2 is 4. Let's put the ones that were given first. 1 minus 2. Then the ones we worked out. 0 minus 2. 2, 0. And minus 1, 0. And 3 is 4. And then using a freehand and a pencil, should sketch something like that. And that'll give you another 2 marks. Okay. And as I say, because the coefficient was positive there, I expect that kind of smiley face, upward sloping quadratic. Question 21. Describe fully the single transformation, so that maps A onto B. Well, it's not an enlargement. It's not a rotation because if I imagine that corner, if it was rotating, that would swing right facing that way. And it's not a translation because the orientation has changed. So that's my, not a rotation, not a translation, meaning it must be a reflection. But to have a reflection, you need a mirror line. And in this case, the mirror line is y equal to minus x. It's this line here. So y equal to minus x. Because if you were to fold that over, you can see that's 1, 2 away. So 1, 2 away. Go 5 up and 1 along. Go 5 along and 1 down. And you get to that point there. And you can see how they match that way. Okay. Question 22, some algebra. I really like these questions. There's not much reading. Don't even need a calculator for this. So let's expand and simplify. 3, 2y minus 5 plus 7y plus 2. 6y minus 15 plus 7y plus 14. 13y minus 1. Okay, factorize fully. Fully is always a clue that there's more than one thing you need to take out of the pair. The numbers, both multiples of 3, both got an x in them. So 2x plus 5. And just check it by expanding. 6x squared, 15x. Right, rearranging to make something the subject of the formula. So in effect, you're solving for g. F equals 3g plus 11. So f minus 11 equals 3g. So g equals f minus 11 over 3. Right, Karen is organizing a party for a charity. She spends £100 on food, £120 on a hall, £80 on a DJ. Karen sells 54 tickets for the party and each ticket costs £7.50. So let's work out her costs first. 100, 120 and 80. I do have a calculator, but let's just work that out like that. So she's spent 300. She's now earned 5 times £7.50. This one I will use a calculator for. She's earned £405. So we've got to work out the percentage profit. So remember, percentage profit, and see how much she's earned over her cost. Divide that by the cost and times it by 100. That's how we work out the percentage. So 405 minus 300. So she's earned 105. Divide that by 300 and times it by 100. And we get 35% profit. Not bad. Okay, nice 4-mark question there. Right, Andrew invests $4,500 in a savings account for 2 years. Account pays compound interest at a rate of 3.4%. Calculate how much Andrew has in his savings at the end of the 2 years. So remember, we start off with 4,500, 1.034 to the 2. Let's put that into the calculator. 4,500 times 1.034 squared. 4811.2. 4811.20. Okay, because the bank won't give us that money yet. Okay, a solving question. 5x minus 14 equal to 52 minus x. I'm going to add x to both sides. 6x minus 14 equal to 52. I'm going to add 14 on both sides. I can use a calculator for this. 52 plus 14 is 66. Now I can divide by 6. 66 over 6 is 11. Okay, question 26. Chris, Debbie, and Errol share some money in the ratio 3 to 4 to 2. That means that there are 9 parts of the total. Chris, Debbie, and Errol. So Debbie gets 120, and 120 is equal to 4 parts. So let's work out what 1 part is worth. So 120 divided by 4 is 30, meaning that Errol got 60 and Chris got 90. So 90 plus 120 plus 60 is £270 in total. That's 30 times 9. Chris then gives some of his share to Debbie and some of his share to Errol. The money that Chris, Debbie, and Errol each now have is in the ratio 2 to 5 to 3. So it's 90 minus x minus y to 120 plus x and 60 plus y, something like that, in the ratio 2 to 5 to 3. So it's now 10 parts. So the total was 270. So one part is worth 27 because I've done 270 divided by 10. So how much did Chris give to Errol? Well, let's see. The new totals are 27 times 2, 54. 27 times 5 is 135. And 27 times 3 is 81. So you want how much is Chris given to Errol? Well, it'll be 81 minus 60. And 81 minus 60 is 21. Okay, again, another example of why I like to save time at the start of a paper, because there's a lot to read, a lot to understand, a lot to think about in this question. And there's a difference of 21. Okay, question 27, the bearing of port B from port A, so B and A is, I'm not drawing this correctly, is 147 degrees. To go backwards, I need to add 180. So work out the bearing of port A from port B. So I just simply do 147 plus 180, and I get 327. We're nearly there, people. 327 degrees on that one. 3 more questions to do. Diagram shows an empty tank in the shape of a cylinder. The cylinder has radius 15 centimeters and height 43 centimeters. And there's a flow of 0.47 liters per minute. So there's 15 and there's 43. Calculate the number of minutes it'll take to completely fill the tank. Well, let's first work out the volume. Volume is pi r squared times the height. So that is, I've got a pi button. Pi times 15 squared times 43. Let's get that as a decimal, because it gave me with the pi, 30394.9 centimeters cubed, which is 30.39 liters. And then we've got to work out how long that'll take if 0.47 liters is filled per minute. I'm going to divide that by 0.47. Sorry, let me do that again, because I hadn't converted it. Pi times 15 squared times 43. That's now I've got to divide that by 1,000, as I'd written there. Okay, and now I'm going to divide that by 0.47. And I get 64.67. So 64.67 minutes, roughly there. Okay, now let's move on to question 29. It's a trig question. Not a trick question, trigonometry question. This is the angle here. Always label, that's the hypotenuse, that's the opposite, and that's the adjacent. So always you should label it and then identify what trig ratio we need. Calculate the length of AB. AB is the opposite, and I have the adjacent. So the trig ratio that involves opposite and adjacent is tan. Tan 49 equals opposite over adjacent, which is AB over 28. Make an equation out of that. 28 tan 49 is AB. So 28 tan 49 gives me 32.2. A nice 2-mark question there for trigonometry. And then last one to finish the paper is solving simultaneous equations 3x plus y equal to minus 4.5 and 4x plus 3y equal to minus 3.5. If you're doing this at home, have a look at this on Desmos to see how these straight lines meet. That's equation 1 and that's equation 2. And multiply equation 1 by 3. 9x plus 3y equal to negative 4.5 times 3 minus 13.5. So now I'm going to use elimination. I'm going to do, let's call this 1 star. 1 star minus 2, it's going to be 5x. They're going to fall away. And then minus 13.3 minus 3.5 gives me minus 17. So x is going to equal negative 17 divided by 5, which is minus 3.4. Let me just check I've got everything right there. I've times that by, timesing this all by 3. This gives me 9x, 3y, and that's 13. And then doing this minus, sorry, I didn't take that away. Got it the wrong way around. So minus 17, minus 17.5 plus, this is why negative numbers are so important, plus 3.5 gives me minus 14. Okay. And then I'd use that to substitute in for y in either of those. So let me just make sure that I've got that all right. I've multiplied that by 3, 9x, 3y, minus 13, 9x minus that, they cancel, and sorry, I've done it again. I've used minus 17, so that's what I've done wrong. Minus 13.5 plus 3.5 gives me minus 10. And then x is minus 2. Yeah, sorry, it took me a while there. You know what's so important there is signs. And then I can plug that into any of these. So say I put it into 3 minus 2 plus y equal to minus 4.5. So negative 4.5 plus 6, y will be 1.5. And that's how you get those 3 marks. Sorry for that little confusion there. It was mostly about the signs, but the step there for elimination was correct. And I managed to figure out what I'd done wrong. And it was minus 13.5 plus 3.5 to give me the minus 10. Okay, that finishes the foundation paper. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And look through both videos. Good luck for your exams.